the same. So thanks a lot, Bhushan, for taking your time out. Super grateful for that. I'll quickly get started with a small presentation, and then we will get to the presentation itself, or sorry, the demos itself. That's the structure. Broadly, the intent is we'll have a quick overview of what we've covered till now in this cohort and what people learned in general, and then we will see the demos from Abhishek, Aritra, and Videv, who've been the cohort members for us, and they'll showcase what their product is. They will walk us all through what's the process that they have taken to build the products, and if there are any questions, suggestions, guidance, or areas of improvements, we would be more than happy to learn from that and take it forward from here as such. So that's at a broad level, and at the end we'll also award the certificates for the core members to for being great, completing the cohort as such. So that's broadly the structure that we've had for today. And before we start with the demos, we would, or even the session itself, we'll quickly start with a small presentation, and then we'll take it forward. I hope that's fine with everyone. Thanks. Okay. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Awesome.
Yes.
Great. So the whole objective or the idea is that we are in the age of AI, and everyone needs to become a full stack professional, and he or she is like a Superman, Superwoman empowered with AI, and that's what our whole objective is. You don't need to know how to code, you don't need to know what product management is or anything, but you need to understand what your customers are wanting and how do you address those problems or add value. So agency is far more important in the current day and age, and that's what AI is a catalyst for us, and it is helping us to become that full stack professional is what our entire thesis as such is, and that's what we are trying to evangelize with all our cohorts and sessions that we keep running. And this is a small...
The world is shifting faster than ever. Traditional roles are dissolving. A new kind of professional is emerging. They're thinkers, builders, problem solvers. Yeah, but to everyone else, they look like magicians. Their wand, AI, they're magic products that wow users and unlock possibilities. They come with an idea and leave with a working AI product. They learn by building. They master AI-first thinking. They automate, personalize, and reimagine workflows. This is not just a course. It's a launchpad for the builders of tomorrow. Full stack AI product mastery. Cohort 3 is now open. Your wand is waiting. Let's build some magic.
So the whole intent or idea is each and every one of us leveraging AI would become like Harry Potters of our age, and we build products like creating a magic to our customers and adding value to their lives. That's the broad level vision that we have as such. Firstly, thanks a lot once again for giving this opportunity and trusting us for the cohort members and everyone joining in today to share your views or insights with the cohort members and everyone in general. It's a co-learning session that we generally organize as well. So we are more than happy for having every one of you here. Huge shout out to Bhushan again on accepting our request and being here. And just for everyone's thing, Bhushan has been a great mentor for me as well, and I've worked with him at CE. He's an amazing product leader. He understands tech both at a 0 degree level, as in understands the nuances of it at a DV level, and at the same time he can think at a 30,000 feet level immediately to figure out what should be the broader level strategy, like, and implement AI wherever it is needed, where it is not needed. That level of clarity is very rare in people that I see, and Bhushan is one of the best people that you could even get an opportunity to work with and learn from. So highly grateful for all of this. And just a huge call out again, the whole reason I started posting on LinkedIn was because of his guidance, and that helped me a lot to learn a lot. So thanks a lot, Bhushan, for that, and would be grateful if you could share some insights if you want now or anytime during the course is also fine, but would love to hear from you as well.
Thank you, Asha. Obviously, AI is a transformative opportunity, right? We are in a pivotal stage of technology today. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people have built, the cohort has done, right? And so, basically, the beginning of journey, not for just for all of you, but I think in general, the industry itself. So, very excited to see what you guys have done.
Thanks a lot. Uh, quickly about me, I think many of you already know me. I've been in the product management space for about a decade, building B2B, B2C products. We keep running cohorts, help people become full stack professionals in general, leveraging AI. I also have my co-founder, Soumya, on this. She's been in the data space for more than 5 years, building products and automating and AI projects in general. What we do, we broadly build AI products. We run cohorts and corporate workshops and even short courses as such. We build our own products as well. Some of them being Product Lens, MCP Prism. Product Lens is basically you can have your entire code base being read through and get insights out of it. You can directly talk to it and all. MCP Prism is you can use one chatbot, but it can be integrated with your Jira, it can be integrated with your Zapier, it can be integrated with your Supabase or any platform as such, whichever is offering MCPs, and you can directly interact with it. So that's another product that we built. Obviously, we have a resume creator and interviewing platform as well that our cohort members also have built during the course of the cohort as well. But enough about us. We'll quickly move forward. So this is our second cohort. Our first cohort members have also been
Hi, I'm Roshan Suvarna, a
great
real
enough
person
to
in a...
testify that the cohort
Hi,
helped them
I'm
along
Roshan
when they were able to build products. That's majorly about it. Today, we just wanted to share a few things, which is one, everyone, whoever is watching, please start leveraging AI. AI now can interact, reason, and create things. It is essential that we become managers of AI and AI agents in general. We are no longer people who are, not just people, you need to be able to manage AI agents, and digital workforce as such is evolving and becoming a reality right now. The other thing is using AI tools in general, as in I use ChatGPT, so it's okay. That's great. No worries about it at all. But it's important that you start orchestrating them, building products, using them, incorporating AI into your product. That's far more important in current, because now AI is becoming, or having AI in your product is more of an MVP expectation than it being a good to have capability as such. So that's the evolution of expectations of customers also that has come into play. And more importantly, in digital transformation era, we've had something called as business process re-engineering, where everyone was working on or looking at how do I optimize processes and all. But now we are in an era where it is all about business process reimagination. So we need to reimagine every aspect of the work that we are doing and see how AI can help us out with that as well. So we just wanted to leave with these few things as a key takeaways per se. Stay till end, and we will share across with you 200 curated prompts as well, so that you get something out of this session, and for your good will of taking time off on a weekend and putting effort to join and help our cheer our cohort members. So we've started. So a quick overview of the journey that we've been on. It's an 8-week journey wherein we started off with the basics or the foundations of building any product in general, because those foundations are not changing. You still need to understand what it means to be, or what are the customer problems like, what are the needs of the customers. You need to understand them. You need to be able to capture the assumptions that you are making clearly, articulate them, brainstorm with different ideas to solve them. The user journeys, user persona understanding of what database tables are, ERDs are, they are getting abstracted a bit, but it is still essential that you understand those details so that you are able to build things by yourself and leverage all the things that are existing today. Sequence diagram. So we cover all of these at the start of the cohort itself, so that you have the foundations in place before you jump on building things by yourself, because people think building on using tools like Lovable or or cursor and all is just about giving a prompt and expecting the output, but that's not the case. It's garbage in and garbage out. If you're not able to articulate your problem well and explain how you are expecting the solution to be, don't expect the system to give you a great response. So that's very important, and that's how we approach it as well. So the other thing that we also is it's a team activity at the end of the day. As in, even though now you are a full stack professional, you need to communicate what you're expecting with, or what your thought process is to your stakeholders, and being able to talk in their language. So be it ERDs, database structures, so on and so forth, that is the language of a tech team member. So you being able to communicate to them in their language reduces the barriers of understanding and eliminates the Chinese whisper altogether, is the whole idea. And AI is your translator in this case. And we see AI being used in every aspect of building the product, and we've leveraged some of the greatest tools that are available in the market right now, be it Lovable, Chatbase, ElevenLabs for voice experiences and all, to create the overall experience as such, or create products in general. And more importantly, we've also, thanks to Google, they've been offering Gemini APIs for free of cost, and we've been using them thoroughly for all the products that we build for agentic experiences that we've been working upon. First, let's now, enough about all of this. Let's get quickly jumping onto the demos itself. So we have Abhishek, and he's working on something very interesting to help people improve their health. And we all have heard about health is wealth, but we don't take care of it much. So Abhishek's problem statement, or the area that he's working on to help us get healthier and better. So all yours, Abhishek, please, you can get that.
Thanks a lot, Arsha, for the introduction. And I'll just first give a very brief introduction about me. I'm Abhishek. I'm currently working in the founder's office at a fintech startup called Dero. I've primarily been in the fintech domain for the last 5 to 6 years, and overall 7 to 8 years of experience. Motivation for joining this course was, again, firstly driven by FOMO in terms of how many LinkedIn posts are happening about what AI is doing, and just being able to harness, how I can use it further in my work as well, and become a more efficient professional, if not anything else, in terms of using AI. And like Harsha mentioned, I think one of the problems that I was looking to solve and build a product around was something that was my own itch, which I wanted to sort of work around, was tracking health and fitness. I think I've been sort of myself on a fitness and nutrition, or rather weight loss journey for some time. I just wanted to work something around that. I'm about to share my screen. Just let me know if it is visible. Can see?
Yes, clear.
All right. Cool. So just to start off with, I think just brief reflections on what we have learned as part of this cohort, or maybe the key takeaways that I have seen as part of the journey of building what I have built is, one, I think building the first version of any product is very easy. I think it's the iteration that takes a lot of time and tokens as well. Overall, you'd see maybe the first version will take you maybe a couple of hours to build, but I think when you have to build something of value, scale it, and maybe even understand how better to solve the problems that you intend to solve, will require a lot of hard work. And I think that comes to the second point. Maybe a good prompt in time can save you 9. So essentially, it's about the efficiency with which you are prompting, and maybe sort of going about the way to build something. The first prompt determines a lot in how much efficiency you can bake into the building process. Whereas the Pareto applies, I think the 20% of the effort you put in the prompt gives you the 80% of the output that you would expect out of a good product. Third, I think, as simple as that, we are not masters of everything, but yeah, when you are building, you would invariably come across things that you do not know about. But I think as part of the learning process, you see, just ask another LLM. I think if you are not clear about anything else, I think one LLM helps solve the other LLM's problem. That's some of the reflections. And lastly, yeah, the favorite one, frustrations and rollbacks are part of the learning. You'd going back to the first point, when you start the building process and you see normally, I think when you're tinkering with AI for the first time, the expectations of the output may not completely align with what you have thought about. And that is why you would invariably have to invest a lot of time. I think practice, as we say, will make you perfect in this regard. I think so. Yeah, all of these principles taken into consideration sort of help you majorly in the building process when you're tinkering with AI. Quickly jumping onto the product that I want to talk about. I think one thing that I want to start with is health tracking is hard. I think, as you would have seen, I'm assuming some of you have been at some point in time been part of a weight loss journey or even a weight gain journey, or maybe even, trying to consult a dietitian or a nutritionist to get the right recommendations to fix your macros. But as we understand, health tracking is hard. There are multiple reasons for it, I think, and majorly you'll see manual health tracking is pretty tedious and inaccurate. You'd ideally have weighing scales where you'd want to weigh the food you're eating, and then you'd probably Google search and figure out. There are certain apps in the market that help you also extract the value that you are getting out of the different meals that you eat. But I think the current experiences around meal tracking are pretty manual and tedious. Then also you'd see that typically users juggle between multiple apps. There is a disconnection in terms of one app helps you track your workouts, whereas there is another app that helps you track what you're eating and consuming. So pretty much a disconnected experience. And thirdly, I think once you start the journey, because of the points of the manual tracking and not getting a comprehensive picture, you probably start to disengage from the offering, and which is why a poor disengagement or a poor engagement results in a lot of dropouts of the products. So keeping that in mind, what I intended to solve for this is presenting FitLife. FitLife is essentially your comprehensive health tracker. It's a one-stop place where it helps to track your calories in terms of your intakes, your calories that you burn, what is the weight loss trajectory that you're heading into, and similar offerings. I think maybe just to go into the details of what we have built. First, it's a holistic equation of your overall calorie summary for a day, a week, or a month. It gives you a summary in terms of how much have you consumed throughout the day, how much have you expelled through the different workouts that you have done, including the calories you spent in the resting state, commonly called as the BMR. What is your status of your macronutrients? How is the balance looking like? What is the health index of the meals that you have consumed across the day? And let's say if you are in a calorie surplus state, which I think in the screenshot attached refers, what is some of the corrective actions you can take maybe to not go into the calorie surplus territory so that you are able to manage your weight loss efficiently. Second, I think, is the AI-powered meal tracking. I think it's a pretty efficient way where you need not describe your meal in detail. You just need to upload a picture, and there's a comprehensive output generated by the AI that will give you the different breakdown of the calories as well as the macros that you consume as part of the meal, as well as where the meal tracks on a health index. Then I think it gives a holistic picture of the overall macro composition of your day throughout the meals that you have taken in terms of protein, carbs, fats, can be increased to fiber and other macronutrients as well as micronutrients as well. And lastly, it gives you, based on your overall summary of a weekly and a monthly trend of your consumption habits, gives you a sense of where your weight is trending in terms of what is your current weight, a recommended weight, as well as the projected weight given your trend of calories burning versus consumption. So pretty much a summary picture of your health journey. I think in terms of taking this to market, and this is some of the learnings that I have had personally as part of being in the weight loss journey, is there are dietitians and nutritionists whose their day job is helping their clients manage their calories, and it becomes pretty tricky for them to manage different clients, especially when there are multiple at the same time as well, and engage with them. So my preferred go-to market for this, instead of going directly to the customers, is going via the nutritionists. But the different channels that I explored is, one is typically partnering and endorsement through nutritionists and dietitians, building a B2B2C model with them where you offer labeled offerings of this product to different nutritionists, which they can then offer to their clients, and also bring in custom features as per their requirement and their level of association with the clients. Thirdly is, I think, a revenue sharing opportunity where you provide nutritionists with the intelligence by helping them track multiple clients. When the scale goes larger than 50 to 100 clients, it becomes difficult to manage for them as well. So for them, a holistic picture of where their different clients are in their journey. And in addition, I think also maybe engage the clients further by keeping different modes of competition or something else between the clients that can be done from the nutritionist. That is my preferred go-to market for this particular product. I'll come to the demo as well once we go ahead. Quickly, I think in terms of how this product works, I'll probably focus on the user journey. So once the user signs up for this product, they go through a one-time health, uh, their profile details setup where they're required to enter the essential details. Once that is done, the user has two action items. One is basically entering the calories consumed. The other is the entering of calories burnt. Calories consumed can be done through either upload of a picture of the meal that they have consumed, or just describing the meal, taking into consideration the different quantities that are consumed as well. And then the AI does the job of giving the display of overall summary of the meal consumption for the day. Using this, the what the system does is it builds a weekly and a monthly view of the overall calorie trends of the user as well, and gives a summary view of the user in terms of where they are in their fitness journey, and gives, using this data, there is a projected weight journey for the user as well, where the user can track how their current weight is trending. In terms of the AI decision flow for this meal, so what I have implemented here is that, given, I think, a typical user problem might be that they may not be able to capture every meal that they would have consumed. So which is why having an option or giving an optionality to the user to describe the meal through text as well. So here, I think the user proceeds to putting an input, which can be in the form of an image or a text. Then the image gets converted, and then it's sent to Gemini via an API call. After the processing is done, the different outputs are, I think there are multiple agents. One is that extracting the ingredients, then figuring out what are the different calories and the macros that are part of it. And then these are returned back to the application, which is, first, this is backend being used here is a Supabase backend. So here, for every user and every meal, there is a tracking done in the backend tables where the meals consumed information is updated. And once it is done, the results are updated in the user interface for the user to see as well. Quickly, I think I'll go on to the demo as well. Let me stop sharing and switch to mobile. Harsha, can you add me on the mobile as well? I'm just trying to join through the link.
I Yeah, we are yet to see. Okay, can you are able to join in?
Yeah.
We have around 5 more minutes left, Abhishek. So
Yeah. I think we start with logging into the app. Then I proceed to adding the meals.
maybe you might need to turn on your phone.
I think there's some echo. I'll just proceed. these are the details of the meal that are being tracked. Here, in case I do not have a picture, I'm just trying to upload through text description.
Maybe you might need to reduce the volume or something on your phone speaker. That might eliminate the echo.
Are you also using your systems? If that is the case, can you unmute yourself on the system? Then the echo will stop. If you are using both the mobile and the system, then the echo will come.
Is it still coming?
No, this is good.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Got it. So I think what I had done earlier was analyzed one meal, which was my breakfast, and there I had entered a random picture that I uploaded. Here, I think for accuracy, what is required is entering the quantity as well, where in this case I had just uploaded a picture just for representational purpose. Here, I think for, let's say, for any other meal that you want to analyze, I think the essential thing is you go to your gallery, I think, or whatever meal you have, take a picture, ideally add a description around it in terms of what it is. Let's say I'll mention it as a paneer So this currently right now, this is on a Gemini free plan, and overall, based on the amount of traffic that the overall system has, it gives the results in that manner. I think for snacks, it had gotten stuck, but for dinner, I think it had analyzed completely now. I think you'd see the details of whatever the ingredients as well as the health index. In the nutritional notes, you would have some analysis in terms of what is it that is causing the health index to be on the lower side. So, and what possible recommendations can be included to improve the health index of the meal. For example, here you'd see the dish contains vegetables, which is positive. However, cream sauce and cheese contribute to a high fat and calorie content. What else can be done to improve the overall health index of the meal is something that is mentioned in the notes. Apart from this, based on the meals that I have entered, I'd see overall macro analysis of where I stand in terms of the meals that I have entered. Here you'd see, I think proteins are on the higher side, carbs and fats, something that can be improved. And the system gives, I think right now it is meant to keep some generic analysis in terms of what can be done to improve the mix. But this can be further enhanced to provide actionable recommendations in terms of what meals can be added to remediate the impact of the meals that you have earlier in the day. For example, sometimes when you have had, let's say, a cheat meal where the contents are off, so you get some actions in terms of what else can you do or what action can be taken further to reduce the impact of what you had consumed earlier. And then based on the different meals, I think the system gives you an overall recommendation of where your macronutrients are. So here I think I still see that overall I'm on a calorie deficit, so which is why it's not recommending me to take any further action. However, if I just plan to upload let's say an image or something that gives me, let's say, pushes me on the calorie surplus side, let's say I just mentioned 10 pancakes, something that I assume would take me to the surplus, it would give me certain recommendations on what further can I do to I think I'm still 71 in deficit, but yeah, largely I think then it would maybe just reduce this to 5,000. Yeah, it gives me an addition in terms of what is the additional steps that I need to be able to burn off the excess calories that I have consumed. So largely, I think this is the view in terms of a daily picture. This would further, when you use it across a larger interval, you would be able to see a weekly as well as a monthly view of the overall consumption as well. And then this basis gives a trend of overall where my weight trajectory goes in terms of my habits of consumption and expenditure. So overall, that's the summary of the health tracker app. Happy to take any questions on the same.
Quick one, Abhishek. Will the AI also recognize South Indian food? Does the picture need to be very well organized in the plate? Because I'm just asking. Typically, that's one restriction we have, right? So, and also, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So in my experience, I think I've tried with a multitude of set of pictures, and I think in most of the cases, the accuracy has been over 90-95%. Generally, in cases, what might happen is where the ingredients are indistinguishable from the picture. For example, a paneer and tofu might be indistinguishable from the picture. It's a better practice to mention it in a description, which is why I think for any meal, from apart from the upload option, I give generally a description. So of you can just mention what is it there for increasing the accuracy. Otherwise, even from vaguer descriptions, I think the AI is still able to give you a realistic sense of where directionally the calories are. May not be 100% accurate, but directionally it gives in the same sense. It sort of gives you the purpose of doing this entire thing in the first place.
Great. Thanks for the presentation, Abhishek. Bhushan, would you like to add some guidance or
Yeah,
inputs?
Abhishek, really well done, right? I mean, so the problem statement that you defined, I think this really works very well. User experience wise, obviously, the capabilities that AI gives you today can be tuned a little bit more, right? So therefore that can happen.
Yeah.
But can I take a step back and ask you, how did you arrive at this problem statement? Like what led you to address this particular problem statement?
Yeah, maybe probably I can display the same as well. Is this visible? Yeah. So I think
Yeah,
I was earlier on a part of a diet program. I think where what I had seen is a particular dietitian which I was consulting had added me to a group where every day a lot of these users were posting pictures in terms of their progress. So I could see different people posting, what are the different meals that they had consumed throughout the day in terms of their journey towards a healthier sort of consumption. And what I had understood from this was while it is good in terms of moving towards a healthy lifestyle, it's not quantified in terms of how much I'm in that direction vis-a-vis what I was maybe some time back, or also vis-a-vis in comparison to some of the others that I am sort of see good results. So sort of I was lost in terms of understanding whether I'm not doing more of what I should be doing while I'm in that direction, or is it just not working on me? Is it something else that I need to sort of tweak, maybe the quantity, or maybe something else that would maybe give me some faster results, maybe, or something, or move me rather faster in that direction? So this was an sort of initiative towards quantifying the direction I was treading into. So which is why I think this came into my mind, that why not, track it, holistically, and, sort of measure and see where I go and measure my progress basically.
very cool. Nice. So one other problem is, I mean, usually what we notice is that it's very hard to change consumer behavior, right? So where do I go in order to access this app? Is it something that I install or through the browser? How do I access the app?
So right now, I think this is just a web app that I have created. I have not made it into a mobile app as of now. So
Okay.
this is, I think, right now I have just shared it across with few of my colleagues just for feedback. It's not productionized or made. It's productionized as in it's not launched to multiple users as of now. So yeah, I think, but if you want to try it out, I think I have a link here, I think, which would be helpful if anyone wants to try it out.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. The reason I was asking this question is because sometimes it's better to be where the consumer is, right? And like the dietitian who's been using WhatsApp group to do that. Now
Yeah.
imagine if you could use WhatsApp as the front end for this, right? By the way, WhatsApp is like an amazing tool for a lot of MVPs, right? So
Yeah.
all of these the AI capabilities behind the scenes, and I think now WhatsApp gives you free APIs, right? I mean, it's open to the public as well. So you may actually be able to have more conversational interaction from the consumers as well, right? So, but
Yeah.
another question. So the few folks that you shared it with, how frequently have they been using it so far?
So right now, I think the frequency has been, I think in terms, I'll break this into two parts. One is regularity of doing it every day. So I
Yeah,
think there I've seen not every meal sort of that I have given to the people I've given gets logged at the same time. Or maybe there are instances where people do not log all the meals in a day. They'll just log maybe one or two meal a day. And the second is, I think in terms of uh, the overall time for which they have used it, I think it's been functional for around a week. I think for a week I think I've only launched it a week back. For 1 week entirely they have done, although the daily frequency has been once or twice, not logging in all the meals. That is what I've
got
seen
it.
right now. I think which makes also the sense, I think that in terms of the inputs, it can be further improved in terms of integrations with maybe sensors and devices which we for the calorie burn part. While the calorie consumption is still possible, the calorie burn can be improved further.
Understood. I mean, this is sort of I want to connect the dots back to where the consumer behavior is, right? Because remembering that, oh, there's an app that I need to go and update every meal sometimes is difficult.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, there's a push notification that reminds me that have you had your lunch yet? Because it's lunchtime or past lunchtime, right? And that sort of a thing, right? So those are a few things you may want to take into account. When people are not adopting the product as much as they should, if they're not engaging as much, go 1 degree deeper to understand the why. I mean, they're not going, we understand, but why they're not going in. So it may not be about the collection of the activity, the expulsion data, but it might be of something else, right? And you'll have to understand the consumer behavior a little bit. So it's great that you've actually shipped this already. Do tap into them, have conversations to understand what exactly is going on there. Yeah, great work though. I mean, this is like really, really nice product.
Thanks a lot, Bhushan.
Thanks a lot, Bhushan. Anyone else has any? Okay, Raghu, I guess.
Sorry, it is Raghavan. I just didn't
Oh,
put it.
hi, Raghu.
Hi, Abhishek. So I really liked the UI part, right? That color theme, it was very nicely done. So I just add this feedback, like Bhushan said. I also tried Healthify to track meals and all. But the fact that you have to go to the app, open the camera, capture, doesn't come naturally. Sometimes you just leave, and slowly, once you start leaving a couple of times, you keep doing that a lot. But the notification that he said, my feedback is, suggestion is, if you can make that notification directly open the camera, something like that, that will increase traction because they don't have to do multiple steps. They have a notification, you click, it opens, just click the camera, done. So
Yeah.
just that I thought of that, so I thought I'll give it as feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, fair enough, I think.
Thanks. If that's all, then I think thanks, Abhishek, thanks, Bhushan, for the feedback and suggestions. We'll then move forward to the next presentation for the day, which is which is by Aritra. So a quick intro about his work. He's built a platform to help teachers teach better, and that's like the most important thing that we need as such. And AI transforming education as such is a huge space in itself, and this is like a first step towards it as such. So next to Arita. Nope, you're on. We can't hear you, Arita. No. Can't hear you.
Maybe you disconnect your headphone completely so that the other
Correct.
audio.
He's rejoining. Maybe we'll wait for 2 minutes. I'm sure he'll be back. He's already back. Yeah.
Hey, my
Yep. Perfect.
cool. I'll skip the headphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just put on the presentation and then I'll start talking as well. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So my screen visible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So thanks, Harsha, for the intro. Okay. So before getting into what I have done, right? Let me take a minute to introduce myself. I'm Aditra Saha. I work for Flipkart. So I'm a product manager in Flipkart. I'm managing the exchange experience in Flipkart. So anything which you buy with an exchange, right from the discovering that exchange on the Flipkart app, getting to see that exchange offer, to undergoing that order placement process, to the doorstep experience of actually doing the exchange, and the entire process, entire experience is something which I look at for Flipkart. Uh, yeah, and I had joined this cohort for two reasons mainly. One is what Abhishek also alluded to. It's the FOMO piece. Like I felt that there's a lot of things going on in the AI world, and I am not up to speed with what is happening in the world. Did not want to let that opportunity pass by. Second thing is Harsha is a friend and a former colleague, so we have been batchmates in IIM Mumbai. We have we have interned for the same company, which was Mondelez. We have worked together in the same organization, which was a startup. So that association goes back long. And I was excited to join a program because I knew that the quality will be good and I will get to actually learn something and do things with my own hands. So yeah, so that's been my reason to join the cohort. That's been my motivation, right? Now coming to what I have worked on. So I've created Teaching Buddy. It's a application which helps teachers to teach. Basically, we'll talk more about how it helps teachers and what is the problem statement, etc. Before that, key takeaways from the cohort, right? So so the first thing which was my key takeaway was the endless plethora of things which we can do with AI today, right? And like Harsha also mentioned, right? I think ChatGPT is a common buzzword, and a lot of people are chatting with ChatGPT. But I did not have much knowledge about the other tools in the market, right? That you can create voice experiences, chat experiences, and you can create mock-ups, UIs, whatever, right? So I mean, rather than saying that I have mastered all these tools, at least I am at a state where I know that these tools exist, what their capabilities are, and what you can do with them if you want to, right? And there are enough resources available on the internet, in the peer groups, which can help you learn. All you need to do is just understand that something is possible, right? So that was the first takeaway. Uh, Coming to the usage of AI, I think one major takeaway was that all the different artifacts which we create as a PM, right? Like PRDs, mocks, ERDs, SLDs, uh, user stories. These can be created very fast, right? Uh, while it can be created very fast, we need to be cautious about the quality of input going into them to create these, because as we all know, garbage in, garbage out. And secondly, I would say that we need to be very involved in reviewing them, because since we are not creating these things by ourselves, let's say we are not writing a PRD, so we are also getting losing a chance to think through the entire process of writing a 10-page long PRD, which we are not doing. We are maybe creating a half-page prompt. So we have to be extra cautious about reviewing the PRD. So our role is kind of evolving from a PRD creator to a PRD reviewer. Right. So that is something which we need to master in this day and age, without being so much involved in creating that, still deriving the same kind of output and essence out of it. Next thing which I found very interesting or very satisfying is that building is fun and everyone can be a builder. The tools are accessible to everyone, and we can all build stuff even without not knowing uh, how to code, right? And challenge lies beyond the MVP. So the MVP we will be able to create, or I might not even tout it as an MVP. Let's say the first draft is easy to create, but iterating from there, uh, getting incorporating feedbacks, and also wherever we have agentic experiences, the how we test, like let's say if we have a voice experience or a chat experience, the challenge will lie in how well we are able to test it out, how well we are able to cover for corner scenarios, etc. Right. So yeah, so that's about a glimpse of my experience in the cohort. So now coming to the problem statement which I want to talk about, right? So first of all, who is the user? So this product is aimed at secondary and higher secondary English teachers, but if I sort of generalize it, it's for the teacher as a whole. So typically, teachers spend a lot of time in preparing lessons. This is more relevant for teachers teaching art subjects as compared to science subjects. So I took English teacher as my persona. Uh, my wife is an English teacher, by the way, so that was an inspiration. And English teachers spend a lot of time creating content that they use for teaching. Typically, if a teacher has to deliver a 1 hour lecture, they end up spending, and the topic is new to them, they would spend anywhere between 4 to 6 hours to create content for that lecture. And with regular changes in curriculum, the need to create teaching content is very repetitive. It's a recurring one. And today, like all the job roles have metamorphosed, right? The teacher is supposed to do a lot of things today, which probably 10 years back they were not supposed to do. Like creating lesson plans, creating display boards and whatnot. So the time in the hand of the teacher is less, right? So how do we empower the teacher further is the core idea. So we have all been enriched by our teachers in our childhood. It's now time to give back. That was my inspiration. The solution. So it's an AI powered teaching assistant. I have taken poetry teaching as my MVP use case. Right. What does this platform do? It creates teaching materials for the poem, creates materials like about the poem, about the author, paraphrase, tone used in the poem, figures of speech. Typically, the standardized, set of artifacts which are generally used for teaching a poem. And the sweetener is, apart from these all these standardized things, right? It also has a question builder which takes in a host of inputs, and I'm not going into the details because I will demo that. So it can take a host of inputs from the uh, user, like question type, learning objective, student profiles, etc., and create a customized set of questions for the need. So the CVP is like be ready to teach a poem in less than 5 minutes, right? So the differentiator in this case would be, I mean, we all know that things are available on the internet and you have workbooks, etc. So what is so special? So this is like an all-in-one, place where we have end-to-end poem teaching workflow. We have comprehensive teaching notes. We have a flexible question builder covering the entire breadth of the needs. And it's an AI-driven tool which gives you deep literary analysis with customizable teaching materials, right? So that's about it. Okay, so is the problem statement and the solution what we're trying to build clear? Then I'll move into the tech part of it, or we can take questions at the end also. Cool. So I'll move on. So the user journey would be pretty simple. So I have not created a slide on that. We'll get to see that in the demo. When it comes to the system landscape diagram, so it's basically the user interacts with a UI. The UI is a front end which is written in React, and it talks to a backend built on Supabase. The backend has two parts. One is a database which has the poems, questions, analysis, etc. It also has the Gemini API key and the curl, and it has some Supabase function where the different outputs which are being generated, those basically that functionality is coming from the functions which are written in the Supabase. Right? When it comes to the AI agent architecture, so it's kind of, there are 5 AI agents, and there's a user input of poem and the author, which goes parallelly into 5 AI agents. The poem analysis agent, the author profile agent, the paraphrase agent, the theme agent, and the figures of speech agent. And the output of all of these 5 agents becomes the input to the question builder agent. Question builder agent also has an input of the user input of the poem and the author, right? And the user inputs of what type of questions need to be built, right? So this is kind of, there are 5 parallel agents, and then there is one agent in sequence which is taking output from all the 5 AI agents and also user inputs. That is kind of system architecture. This is the sequence diagrams, but I think this is clear with whatever artifacts we've already covered till now. The user interacts with the front end calls the Supabase backend, the Supabase backend first retrieves the query from the DB, retrieves the API key from the DB. With that API key, it sends, it calls the Gemini API with a preset prompt and gets the results. So that's the typical sequence diagram which is used here. Okay, before going into the demo, let me talk about the different UI tools which I have used in this project, right? So ChatGPT, more of general purpose LLM. I've used it for brainstorming, creating base mockups, creating user forms, what kind of inputs to be taken. That's part of the brainstorming. I've used UVizard a bit for refining the mockups, because there's a functionality where you can upload a screenshot and it breaks it down into components, and then you can tweak around with the components. So if you are very particular about what you need, even if that might be something simple, that gives you some flexibility, right? So I've used UVizard for that. I have mainly used Lovable for building the first draft of the app, and then I have used Gemini API keys, which I've already mentioned, Supabase as the backend, which I've already mentioned, and I have used this Lovable, GitHub, and Cursor as a team, right? So I create the first draft of the app in the Lovable. I push the code to, because Lovable does not give you, at least the free version does not give you, access to editing the code, and it gives you less flexibility. So I push the code into GitHub. From the GitHub, I copied it into my local repository and used Cursor to further develop the features and functionalities, and finally again push the code back to GitHub and get the app from Lovable. That has been my workflow. And for certain documentations, I've used Mermaid to create flowcharts. Okay. Any questions till now, or I'll get into the demo?
Yeah, we have 5 minutes left, 4 minutes actually. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. No worries. So let me go to the. I think I'll have to present again. Hold on. Okay, so I'll quickly, show you how to use this. So I'm taking a poem. It's called Skimbleshanks the Railway Cat. It's a poem by T.S. Eliot. Uh, Press this analyze poem button, and these are the different artifacts which are being generated. Okay, so you can just simply move the tabs and see that the different teaching artifacts have been generated, right? About the poem, about the author, paraphrase, theme, figures of speech. And there's an export to Word function, which you can basically download a document and use it the way you want, right? You can use it to create presentations, or you can use it to even circulate notes. You use it to add your own magic to it, right? And this is the final thing, which is a generate question. So let's say for this particular poem, I want to generate some questions. Uh, let's say we want to generate multiple choice questions, and let's say I want to take learning objective as understanding the poem's plots and character analysis. Let's say I want to have a difficulty level of comprehension and analysis. No, I can do only one. So let's take comprehension. Since it's multiple choice questions, let's say I want 4 questions of 1 mark each, and say it's grade 9. So I will want it to generate 4 questions. I can do this again and again. I can do it multiple times with whatever question I want to, want it to generate. I can copy this question to my keyboard, use it to basically paste it into a question paper which the teacher is making, right? And next, I can create set of reference to context questions, or long answer questions, or short answer questions. So yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much what this app does at the moment. Uh, just a few pointers on the way forward. So I intend to build this as a overall teaching buddy for an English teacher at the moment, right? So poem is just a use case, one of the use cases. I found it to be the more one of the bigger problem statements where the teacher spends a lot of time. So the prose and English language exercises would also be part of this teaching buddy. And then again, there have been a few steps which are not yet built into the MVP right now, like a login flow and keeping a history of the user interactions and the artifacts which the user has created. So those are the things which are kind of in the roadmap for this. Yeah, so that's about it. I would like to stop my presentation and take questions, if any.
Thanks, Aditra. Bhushan, would you like to share something?
Yeah, again, this is also very impressive product, right? Given that you've learned and built this in what, 4 weeks time? Is that the time that you've taken?
The cohort extended over 8 weeks.
8 weeks, okay, yeah.
8 weeks.
Oh, that's like 2 months. In 2 months, you've learned this and then built.
Yeah.
So what I really like about this particular project is and that's probably thanks to your wife, right? Because you've identified a very, very niche problem statement, and because you're living with her, you clearly understand the problem that she's facing, right?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. One question: most of these, let's say, poems or English content will be in paper books, right? So it'll be in printed format in most schools, I would imagine.
Most of the curriculum which is like ICSE, CBSE, etc., are available online.
Okay.
And we can we can definitely build something like take a picture and upload it, etc. But as of now, whatever comes in the board curriculums are easily available online. You can just search for the title.
Okay. All right. So I was wondering, how would you get that in? Like in your case, that particular poem you were able to copy paste it.
Yeah.
But if it's in a paper textbook, then it might be a little tedious, right? So that's one thing.
Sure. We should
the other question is around instrumentation for measurement. So one of the things that I always talk about is how do you measure your product, right? I mean, you probably have some KPIs and associated
Yeah.
metrics and all of that. But you also need to have some understanding of how the consumer is using it, etc., right? So is there any instrumentation you put in place, like any sort of analytics tool that you've integrated into this?
No, not at the moment. I should.
Okay.
I should, but not at the moment.
All right. Okay. And how do you look at determining that the consumer, the end user, in this case, the teacher, is actually finding value in this? Because I would imagine, how often do they do these lesson plans and things like that?
Yeah, so typically, if a teacher is teaching three grades, right? You can imagine that every year one of the grade has a new curriculum. So
Okay.
typically, one new grade and new curriculum is something which a teacher has to deal with, and obviously the teacher is learning or preparing on the go. So it's not like at the beginning of the year all the new lessons are prepared. So I have seen my wife sit with new poems or proses and create materials for that. And for a new teacher, the problem is even more pronounced because you don't have any history. So even if you're teaching three grades, everything is new for you, right? And once you get into the groove in 1 or 2 years, still you see a change in curriculum and at least one grade for which every day or every alternate day you're having to prepare something.
I see. Okay. Got it. So the frequency of usage then,
Yeah.
right, in that case. Okay. Got it. Overall, again, great product. What's your plan with this? Like now, is this just a thought experiment or, just creative expression that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm not
Or
looking at really monetizing it at the moment, or maybe
okay.
just getting if I have more users, then maybe I have to just get the money for the API keys, right? But this is more of thought experiment, like you mentioned, and more of trial and building an end-to-end product by myself, and having that experience. At the moment, I'm not looking at like really selling it or something like that. But if anybody wants to use it, I would definitely
Okay. So
yeah, yeah.
I'm not monetizing necessarily, but you're
Yeah,
willing to
yeah.
roll it out and
Yeah,
maintain
yeah.
it for the end consumers. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Great work, Aritra. It's like really nice.
Thanks, Bhushan. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Anyone else has any questions or inputs? Okay, cool. Up next, we have, firstly, thanks to Arita. Now we have Tridev, and Tridev is going to make our lives more memorable because he's addressing a very key area, which is creating stories out of our memories and helping us have enriched memories of these stories. Tridev, over to you. Look forward to see what will be.
Thanks a lot, and thanks everybody for your, I think, for your patience, for your encouragement and feedback. Okay, I think one good part is now just I'm taking a step back after looking at what Abhishek has built and what Aritra has built, although we have not orchestrated this building journey. But while Abhishek talked a lot about how can we improve physical health, I think what I'm talking about will also talk a little bit about how or what we can do with the tool that I have tried to build can help us in building our emotional health better. And it also has some elements what Aritra has shared, which is around education. Okay. So now, being a proud father, I have been always closely connected to building the right ecosystem for my daughter for her education. And I also wanted to, like me and my wife, we wanted to create an environment which can give her a lot of alternate ways of learning, not necessarily the traditional rote method of learning things through school education and through education by interacting with the teachers, right? And one of the, I would say, very important element in that education is the art and the science of reading stories and understanding stories and then storytelling as an overall context. So that's one of the background for me. Now, before that, like my colleagues Abhishek and Aritra, short introduction. My name is Tridev. I am working as a product manager for around about 5 years. I started my journey in Flipkart, and that's where me and Aritra kind of used to work together. And then currently I'm based out of Berlin, and I'm working in a e-commerce company called Zalando based out of Berlin. So why AI? Because a couple of things. I think one is that AI literacy is gradually becoming a core PM skill. It is expected in various organizations that some amount of understanding of AI is necessary. Like even currently, UX data analytics are also important skills for an AI for a PM. But soon in future, I would say being AI aware and being AI savvy will be two critical areas where PMs will be expected. That is one. Secondly, I think there is too much of information everywhere. As a result, it was important for me as an individual to take a step back to really work with, I would say, AI enthusiasts like Harsha to understand what are the capabilities and to separate all thing nice and shiny versus what is really hard and I would say sweat and blood. So it was important for me to differentiate between these two to really get a hang around what is actually happening. Thirdly, there was a considerable amount of learning, being exposed to what the existing set of tools can do. What are those tools? ChatGPT Gemini is something which I have started using like in my day-to-day experience in my office, in my career also. But understanding about various tools, understanding how they can make our life easier was a very good revelation from this entire cohort and this learning from Harsha. And finally, I think I would say that AI for individuals or professionals like us is like Legos for kids, right? They help us build pieces to create a final outcome. And unlike Lego, here the building part is not that easy. I think building a flashy part to make people like become surprised is easy, but when you want to build functional things, and that's why I know how difficult it has been for Abhishek or Aritra, and even for me, like I went through phases of frustration. It is not working out, Harsha, like what can we do and all, and then eventually figuring out that what can work. So it has been a great satisfying journey with good learning, and it has opened doors which I really want to walk in future and try to enhance on the learning. So that's a bit about why I started. Now quickly kind of starting with my presentation and then the product demo also. By the way, you can say I am lazy, or you can say I overemphasized on the utilization of AI. So I used an AI tool to also make the presentation. Okay, so I use Gamma AI for making the presentation. Now, the tool which I have, the app which I have built is called Story Magic. And the key central theme of that app is that it helps users create customized stories where your child is the hero of the story. Okay. Now, as I was saying, I think storytelling is a powerful tool for education, for entertainment, as well as for transmission of our cultural values. Okay. Some of the benefits of storytelling and story reading are it enhances our communication skills of kids. It enhances their memory and comprehension. It builds empathy in them. So they place themselves in the reader's shoes and try to understand emotionally what they went through. Of course, your language skills improves which improves your communication and comprehension skills. And finally, it also helps in stimulating their imagination, right? Reading a book, reading a story triggers and creates a lot of kind of synaptic connections in their brains, which helps them as they grow up. And finally, if we recollect how our culture gets preserved or how our identity gets preserved, a lot of it is done through storytelling and through the transmission of those stories from our grandparents to the parents to the next generation. Now, moving ahead, so that's why storytelling is important. Now, how did I went about developing this journey? So it started with building kind of a overall app, like thinking through the interactive UI, which will be intuitive, which will be child-friendly, followed by thinking about how the database will be structured, what kind of login, what kind of storage modules it should have. The next step was about AI implementation, whereby I had to think through what kind of agents do I have to create, and then what will be the purpose of those agents, how do we do an API call to bring those agents. And finally, I have also thought through some of the base analytics in terms of a dashboard, which talks a little bit about customer engagement, about their preference, who are our customers and all. We will see each one of them as we proceed, as I demo my app. Moving ahead, so what problem am I trying to address? The problem that I'm trying to address is that the current methodology of reading, consuming stories is not very user centric. What I mean by that is the current story landscape is mass market. The stories lack personal relevance. Some of them are one size fit all. They are not targeted towards the young minds. The second problem, which perhaps I am also trying to address, is that parents are busy, and to a large extent, they want to kind of outsource many of the duties to external agencies. As a result of which, and the reason why parents are busy is that their jobs, their current role does not give them enough time to spend with their kids. And I believe that through this app, we can promote more of parent and child time, and to make this time much more easier for the parent. So solving their time constraint and how can they utilize and get more ROI from the time. And thirdly, often many of the stories, so which story will actually engage with the child is going to be ascertained through a lot of hit and trial. Now, can we make child as the hero of the story, where the child gives specific inputs to build a story that he or she wants to read or learn from? Okay, so these are the three problem areas that I'm trying to solve. And the solution that I have thought through is a solution which will be able to create a personalized story for a child, depending upon the child's age, their interest. And by the way, I've also tried to incorporate the child's name as the central character of the story, so that the story becomes much more engaging and personalized for the child. Right? The AI creates the final story. It creates it based on age-appropriate, I would say, criteria. It creates basis the theme that we give to the tool. So when I will do the demo, you will also get to realize that if I put an age of 5 years, then it will create a story which is much more shorter in length, versus if I generate a story for an older age, then the story length will be higher and all that. And it gives entire customization. And since the child becomes the hero in the story, the child becomes the major character in the story. So it can potentially drive to high engagement in the practice of the habit of reading story with the parents, as well as learning from them. Okay. Moving ahead, the key differentiators, the features which I could think through based on my own personal experience of practicing this habit with my daughter have been like, I wanted to, through this tool, the tool needs to be hyper-personalized. That's why attributes like child's name, interest is a key cornerstone for each of the stories that it generates. Second is AI engine generating the story makes it age appropriate. There are specific morals which, as a parent, you can give as an input. Like, I want the story to be built around building self-confidence in a child, building empathy in a child, building kindness as an attribute in a child. So all these are input parameters, and the AI engine will carefully factor in that to build a customized story. The wait time is 0. Because as I said, like, the available time for a parent as well as a child, or the common time, is less. So this app can actually generate a story in real time. It takes very few seconds to build it, and the portability of it. So you don't need to carry a storybook when you are traveling. You don't need to carry a storybook when you are at a different location, because using that app you can generate the story right at the click of a button. Okay. And yeah, child-friendly UI was also another factor. See, I think today the kid engages with a digital system quite often. Okay, and I wanted to. It is an endeavor. It's something which I try to do. Is digital systems can be also engaged with, not just for looking kind of very dumb things, but also for building something creative, for learning in a creative way. Okay, so that is also a fundamental cornerstone. Moving ahead, broadly a market strategy which I have thought through, but I'm quite far away. Like, who according to me are the target audience? The target audience will be parents in the age group of 25 to 45, with kids who are typically between the age group of 3 to 10. The reason why I'm stopping somewhere around 10 or 12 is because if we are able to build this habit by that age, then potentially this will become a self-sustaining flywheel for the kid as well as for the parents, right? How I want to acquire those customers, of course, through social media ads, through, I would say, predominantly through various social channels like WhatsApp and Facebook, and through parent influencers. Engagement, I think long-term strategy is to have weekly story challenges, whereby the kids will create the stories, they will compete against one another, and I would say a couple of other ideas. And finally, monetization, I think initially starting with freemium and then start with premium subscription with add-on functionalities. But these are like overall landscape, but I haven't thought through many of the modules yet. Okay. So how the user journey typically looks like. So there is a sign-up page. It's through your email, and you create a password. You authenticate your email via website. So ensuring only the rightful user can access this. This is followed by a step of story creation. I will show you the different parameters that you enter for story creation. Finally, the storytelling. In its current form, it generates an output which you need to read through. But I'm trying to also build to create an AI agent which can narrate this story also for you, so that both the parent and the child can listen to the story. And then eventually I will also try building some library functions where you can store your separate favorite story and all that. Currently that functionality is not there. Moving ahead, the AI tools that I leveraged while doing this, while building the app, are Lovable. So Lovable helped in building the website, building the various functionalities. I use the Gemini platform to I would say use 2 AI agents. So I have used a story generator AI agent to create the age appropriate content, and I have used a vocabulary builder with parts of speech agent. And finally, I have used Supabase as the backend database for authentication, for storing the customer information, for storing various attributes that are necessary. Okay. Moving ahead, the AI-powered features, as I have explained, there is a layer of a smart personalization. Then there is educational alignment, whereby it's not the story, but there is also a vocabulary list which the tool will generate, so that students can learn about, our kids can learn about new words that they will learn through the story. It will also help them understand the meaning, understand the applications, and then eventually use them in their other daily life. There is, of course, a dashboard functionality, which talks a little bit about how loved this app is by the users. And the base layer of voice narration is not yet built, but this is how I'm thinking is the next long-term, I think, roadmap idea, which I would eventually like to build. Okay. And now let's start with the demo. So this is the link of the app which I have created. So this is how the user interface looks like. I've kept it very simple. It's like create magical stories for your little ones. This is a section which like talks about why parents love story magic. What are the unique kind of USPs of this as a platform. It also talks about how it works, like simple 3-step: enter story details, generate your story, read and enjoy. Like nothing very difficult. And then, so moving a little bit ahead, like, so get started will come to the login screen where as a user, you need to sign up. I have already signed in, so I'll go through the sign in space. It has, as I said, like a password authentication. So I entered a wrong password, so it did not allow me. Now let's see. Yeah. So as I entered the correct password, it will take me to the story builder page where actually the magic happens, right? So let's create magic together. Again, taking example, by the way, I created one story I can use the same idea. So I created, let me add Abhishek also. Abhishek, with your permission, I'm adding you also to the part of the story, okay? I don't know. Abhishek, you are fine with it, right?
Absolutely fine.
Okay. So Tridev, Aritra, Harsha, Abhishek. Unfortunately, we need to cap it at 12. So they are 12 years old. Main characters are okay friends. You can enter other parameters also. Setting, okay, let's keep a setting like futuristic, like space. Choose a theme. So yeah, I will say adventurous. And learning about AI, which was more relevant. In fact, I created one. So yeah, you can create individual stories as well as like stories involving multiple characters. Then I'll click the generate story button. And then it will take some time generating the stories. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, this is the story output it has created. So it has bundled all of us in a homemade spaceship, and then it will talk a little about this. Now, this is the story output that it has created. Then it also gives us certain new words, like bioluminescence is a word which can be new for a 12-year-old. When you click on the word, you essentially will get the definition of the word, like what does bioluminescence mean. It will also give you an example sentence like Tridev, Aritra, Harsha, and Abhishek were amazed by the bioluminescent mushrooms glowing in the dark forest. And then it will give a prompt to ask the people on whom the story is built to also kind of make another sentence. So there are a couple of different words which it chooses, which it feels that these could be important words for the individual to run. The save story functionality is not yet built, but yeah. So this is one aspect. The other aspect which I was talking about is like if I reduce the age of the child to maybe a 5-year-old, and then maybe start with like my daughter's name, and then I change the theme to ocean, and then maybe magical, and then here if I use something like a self-confidence, and then I generate a story. So Here, if you see the sheer length of the story is much smaller because that will be the attention span of the young user. And then it will, of course, bring the central character like Shreyobi into the picture, and then will talk about her in a journey, and then it will introduce some of the words which should be new for her, and then she can learn from it. Yeah. So moving ahead, this is the dashboard functionality which I have created. Currently, I'm tracking very basic metrics like what are the total number of stories created, most active age group which is creating the story, average stories per user. Currently, this is skewed because the only user is me. I am going to circulate this and share this with my friends. That's the next step to get some user experiences and user inputs. Yeah, and then like age and some of the recent stories and all that. Like I will build on the dashboards. So that's what I have built based on my learning so far. Yeah, I'll take a pause and then maybe your questions, feedbacks.
This is too good, but yeah, Bhushan, you can please take it.
Again, beautifully done today. I am super impressed by the kind of products that you guys have built, right? And you've been using it for Shreyobi. How old is she now today?
She's 9 years old.
9, is it? Okay. So, and she's your guinea pig for this product, is it?
Yeah. I think other key message is that which I want to drive is, hey, a smart digital device is also to build something which can be very, very, I would say, important in their overall growth journey in terms of building something creative rather than just not waste time doing something. Right. Yeah, she has been my guinea pig throughout. Like there was another app where I put her voice and then used her name as a AI agent, and then she will hear and say that no, change my name, put your name in it, right? Yeah. But this has been a fun experience because she's wowed and amazed when a story gets created, and then she being the central character, and then these are pretty good things. The themes are also like space and underwater and castle and all that, which is typically what kids like. So yeah.
So I'm curious to understand the setting in which she reads this, right? So I'm assuming you have to log in every time. She doesn't log in on her own, right?
Yeah.
Or does she log in on her own? Okay.
No, I am doing it, but eventually after I make it much more foolproof, then she can also log in. So for that, I need to think through or maybe share with her the user ID, password, and all that.
Right.
But currently, I am only logging in, but the process of creating the story is predominantly through her input. So, hey, what is the story you want to hear about? You can name the character. What is the setting? What do you want to learn? Like, what could be the morale that you want to? And some of the morals are purely based on the inputs that we get from her based on her day-to-day experience from school and all. So those becomes input parameters while building this.
Got it. So I'm curious to understand, when exactly is this reading happening in your home? Is that before bedtime, or how does it get initiated? What's triggered?
Yes. So on a school going day, it is before bedtime, post dinner, and on a kind of when there are weekends, then typically it will be post lunch session as well as evening sessions. So whenever it's more like whenever father-daughter connects, so let's start with some story, then eventually play and other things. So let's start with the story and understanding.
And is it initiated by you, the father, or does she ask, hey, can we make another story kind of thing?
Yeah,
she
both, actually, both.
Okay.
Introducing is me more, and then eventually, like, this is, I think I built it around 4 or 5 days back, Bhushan. So, so now I have to give the breadcrumbs more to her
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
to kind of come on the platform. But
Right.
yeah, I think one area which I can additionally build is building some graphics. I tried the DALI interface, but then I could not kind of do it successfully. But
Yeah.
I need to think through how I can build some image which are customized with the story. That can be one area to attract her also. But yeah, currently it is more me initiating it. But what I have seen by me introducing storybooks to her is that she has picked up the habit. And
Okay.
so I am very confident that this approach will also help her in building this new habit.
Right. So because in this case, it's really the child who's your target user,
User.
right? So
Yes.
so if the child falls in love with this, and then you're on to probably a multi-million, if not multi-billion-dollar opportunity there.
You
so,
are. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I'm
you are
saying
giving me a very good story. I have not thought through that multi-billion-dollar. For me, I am
No,
still
I'm
in
just
the
saying as
very
an opportunity.
building and
That's like
struggling phase.
that's a huge ocean, obviously, right? It's long way away, but I'm saying that space is extremely you know, fruitful, right? So that's where it is. Now, one of the hypotheses you mentioned is that when you use the name of the child itself in the story, then people typically, I mean, children are more engaged, right? So that was one of the takeaways. Have you validated that somehow?
Not validation. So what we had a very early experience, like when my daughter was 3 or 4, we used to take some subscription-based science-based tool app. So
Okay.
one of the product which they gave to us was a customized storybook, and there the character was my daughter, and then there was an image, and then of a girl, and all that. Okay, and
Right.
what I recall from that experience was that she was very excited to see her name customized and all that. And the hypothesis is that if the child become the hero of the character of the story, then perhaps it will be even more interesting for them. But no, to answer you, no, I haven't proven that hypothesis. But we thought that that level of personalization can create interest in the mind of the child, that he or she is part of a story.
Fair enough. Okay. So one of the things that child psychologists say is allow children to reread the books, right? So I mean, as in a lot of kids love to read the same story again and again and again. Sometimes as parents, we get a little irritated, like, you know, you keeping on going back to the same book and same stories kind of thing. But they actually, apparently that's a good thing, right? So I think the library function, or at least the ability to save your story as a PDF onto a local device might be helpful as well, right? So, but otherwise, great product again. Like, you know, I think phenomenal to see this kind of ideas that all of you have put into the problem statements. And I know this is not, you're not thinking of running a startup with this idea alone, like with this one product alone. But I can see all the nuances being there, right? I mean, so all the blueprint is there that all of you have done your homework very well. So very, very impressive. I like the way you've built the product. I think it looks very nice as well, homepage, etc. So very cool. Great work.
Awesome. Thanks. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. Cool. Thanks a lot, Tridev. That was awesome. Too good. And I'll be a user of that product for sure. A quick request: if everyone could turn on your cameras and say cheese or hi or something, we'll take a quick group pic. If others could also turn on their cameras, no need to be shy. Nothing wrong here. Okay. Cool. We are taking a pic. Awesome. Thanks a lot for the pic. And now we'll jump to the final section of our demo day, which is awarding the certificates. First and foremost, in the order of the presentations that were given, we'll obviously send it across over emails to the relevant to the cohort members as well. But Abhishek is the first person. So Abhishek, thanks. Great work for building the product and showcasing all that you could do. So yes, you are now a wizard with a AI with a band at your hand and disposal. So thanks for trusting us and joining the cohort and building amazing
Thanks.
products. Then we have Aritra. Thanks again, Aritra, for joining. And as he said, he's been a friend for quite some time. So more than a cohort member, he's a brother and a friend. So I'm very happy to see him building things. Thanks a lot. And last but not the least, Tridev. Now I have a story to tell to everyone. So I'll be sharing that link. So you expect your Gemini key to get bombarded with many requests. Cool. That's basically about it that we've had for the day. Our next cohort starts next weekend. We would love to see if others, whoever is there on the call, wants to know more about it. Also, we'll share a link. But more important, you can feel free to reach out to us. More than happy to explain about what we have at hand or what we teach in the cohort as such. But yep, that's what we've had for demo day. And huge thanks to Bhushan again for joining in and giving the guidance to the cohort members. Thanks a lot. And thanks for everyone to join in. Bhushan, anything that you would like to share or add?
No, thank you so much. Thank you, Harsha, for inviting me. This is like really enjoyable Sunday afternoon for me. So
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate this.
Thanks. And we've also shared a 200 as promised in the beginning, since most of you stayed till the end. We are sharing a 200 prompt list, which can help fast track your. It has prompts ranging from sales pitches to analysis, data analysis being done. So I hope that adds value to everyone in the call as well. Thanks a lot for joining in once again. And yep, that's all for now. Look forward to see you in the cohorts, or at least in the next demos or the sessions that we do.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Bhushan.
you.
Thanks, Harsha.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Harsha.
Bye.
Thanks a
See
lot.
you. Okay.
Thanks. Stop recording.